What's going on, everybody? I'm Howard Bender from Fantasy Alarm, and it's time now for your MLB Week 15 Fantasy Baseball Stock Watch. Your waiver wire is probably looking pretty bleak, which means that you got to start dealing with fantasy baseball trading. Buy low, sell high candidates appearing all over the place, and that's what we try to bring to the table here for you with our Fantasy Baseball Stock Watch risers and fallers. It's time for a little 3 up, 3 down, and we start with the up. Fantasy Baseball Stock Watch risers. And it begins with James Wood, the rookie outfielder for the Washington Nationals. This is a kid that we've been talking about since well into the well before the preseason even started. He's a top prospect in that national system for some time. We knew he was coming this year, and he finally made his debut on July the 1st. Listen, think 2018 Juan Soto. How about that? When he first came up, he was a complete difference maker for fantasy baseball owners. Well, James Wood is going to be of that same ilk. Take a look at what he's done so far. Quick ascension through the minor leagues, and in 52 games this season at AAA Rochester, this guy slashed 353, 463, 595 with 10 home runs, 37 RBI, 44 runs scored, and 10 stolen bases. It's a power speed combo you don't want to miss out on. In his debut game, he got a base hit in his first at-bat. He drew a walk, both against lefty. Lefty on lefty crime. We like that. All right, so James Wood, if for some reason he's available in your league, that's what you want to get. If he's not available, start trying to trade for him. It's going to be tough in keeper and dynasty leagues, but in a redraft league, you can probably get him. Next guy I want to take a look at here, Whit Merrifield. Listen, the Phillies are dealing with a lot of problems right now. Bryce Harper's on the IL. Kyle Schwarber's on the IL. I'm not saying that, Whit Merrifield is the be-all, end-all, but this guy's going to get full-time at-bats right now for the Phillies and probably for the rest of the first half. Like, Harper and Schwarber aren't due back until like the 9th or 10th of July, and the Phillies finish up their season, their first half of their season, with a 3-game set against Oakland. So unless Schwarber and Harper are 100%, they'll probably get held out until after the All-Star break, which puts Whit Merrifield right there. He's got 10 home run power, 20 stolen base upside. If he's getting full-time at-bats, you want to get him in there. Second base and outfield eligibility. Finally, the third guy on the rise right now, believe it or not, it's George Springer, outfielder for the Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah, that George Springer. 2 weeks ago, what was it? It was MLB Week 14 that George Springer was batting 143 with no home runs, no RBI, no extra base hits. It was looking absolutely horrendous. All right. Over his last 7 games, however, guess who woke up? I'm talking about, here you go, 524 with a average, with a 673 WOBA, a 1.048 slugging percentage. He's got 2 doubles, 3 home runs, and 10 RBI just over this past week. Again, not saying that Springer's the be-all, end-all, but you got to strike while the iron's hot. And if you can pick him up during this hot streak to finish out the first half, that's going to be a win for you. Now the downside of things, the Fantasy Baseball Stock Watch fallers. And y'all are going to hate me for all of this, but here we go. We'll start with second baseman Marcus Semien of the Texas Rangers. Brutal. Absolutely brutal right now. Here you go. He's batting .098 with just 1 run scored, 4 RBI over his last 54 plate appearances over the last 2 weeks. He's 1 for his last 26. Horrendous. No walks, a 148 on base percentage. It is bad. It is really bad. However, big buy low opportunity here for you. Big buy low opportunity. Try and get him for that second half surge. The Rangers had some issues in the first half, whether it was Corey Seager's slow start or Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford disappointing. It doesn't matter. Those guys are turning it up right now. Semien's going to turn it up. So if you can sneak him away from somebody, I would definitely make that move. Next guy here, I'm going to shout it out to Jim Bowden and my good friend Adam Lorber. Big Matt Olson fans. I'm a big Matt Olson fan. I've always been a big Matt Olson fan. But a month ago, I told you to trade him. And then he went on a little bit of a binge. But then guess what's happened? Over the last 2 weeks, it has been absolutely miserable for Matt Olson. Miserable. I'm talking about, here you go, slashing 152 with a 204 on base percentage and a 217 slugging. Garbaggio. All right, he's got 1 home run, 3 RBI, 4 runs scored over 49 plate appearances. He hasn't had an extra base hit since June 21st. Come on. Matty Olson, is this what you want in your first baseman? He's striking out nearly 40% of the time in this span. It's terrible. Listen, will he give like a couple of like power surges? Yes, he will. But is that really, like, are you hoping for that? Is that what you want out of your first baseman? Someone in your league believes in Matt Olson. I believe in Matt Olson, but not this year. He's just not going to give you that production. So if you can get a trade that fills some holes, maybe adds a starting pitcher to your lineup, it's going to bolster your roster for that second half. That's what you need to do. And then finally, last guy here, Kevin Gausman, Toronto Blue Jays starting pitcher. I'm out. I mean, he had a rough April. He tried to turn it around in May, had a 3.74 ERA with 33 strikeouts over, I think, 26 and a third innings for the month of May. But what's he done? What did he do in June? Ugh, horrendous. Look at that. How about this? 9 home runs allowed over his last 6 starts, a 5.65 ERA over the month of June. I mean, this is terrible. And he got thumped by the Yankees. He got thumped by the Red Sox in back-to-back outings of a home-and-home series. He got destroyed by the Orioles. And I'm sorry, but if you can't compete with the teams in your division, you're not competing for my fantasy teams either. So Gausman, to me, if you can find a trade partner who believes in him, go ahead and do it. Listen, I've got a full write-up for the Fantasy Baseball Stock Watch. More details, more insights over at fantasyalarm.com right now. If you don't have a subscription, do yourself a favor. Zap this QR code right now, or just go to fantasyalarm.com/win. Trust me on this. Not only are you going to get everything that we do for baseball, betting, DFS, and season long for the rest of this season, but guess what? Our fantasy football draft guide dropped already. I got the fantasy football cheat sheet coming out right after the 4th of July. You've got so much coming up here for Fantasy Alarm, for more sports, all sports actually, betting, DFS, and season long. Come on. Go to fantasyalarm.com/win, zap that QR code, use the promo code Let's Go, and I'll take 50% off your first month. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Howard Bender of the Fantasy Alarm. We'll catch you next time.